everyone, I'm John McDermott with CUA Public Square. I'm here tonight at the Catholic Vote, a discussion panel put on by CUA to discuss Catholics' role in this upcoming election. Behind me you'll see the discussion panel. We've got some very prominent speakers, so it should be a very interesting discussion. We're going to get some interviews with people afterwards to see what they think, what they're taking away with this, and how they might respond.
And that's essentially how I see what we're here tonight to do, is to understand whether there's a Catholic vote, and if so, what goes into it, and how it might play into this very important election.
I enjoyed it a lot, and I think that seeing the numbers and the graphs and everything that Dr. Green pulled up, and just hearing such a variety of answers, that it's just something that I've really never thought about, like if there is a Catholic vote. So it's a cool question to ponder.
I thought it was a really excellent, wide-ranging discussion that I think addressed, a wide variety of issues that I think needed to be raised.
It was a very, I guess, politically scientist talk. It wasn't anything, it wasn't inducive to how Catholics personally should vote. I think that topic in particular is delicate, but in general it's just a lot of data and information, which is good.
I'm definitely walking away with a better idea of why there are so many initiatives right now to mobilize Catholics to vote. Granted, I'm only 21, so I haven't seen several presidential elections to base that off of, but it was definitely something that I think you can't help but notice is the push to mobilize faith-based voting. And I think that panel addressed that really well.
In history, Catholics were a very strong Democratic bloc. They tended to vote Democratic in presidential elections and congressional elections through the 1930s and 40s. Then the gap between Catholic voters and their preference for Democrats and how the public at large voted started to narrow with some fluctuation. And by 1980, what we've seen is the Democratic vote more or less mirroring the national vote. So they've become what many scholars have argued is the ultimate swing vote. That is, they vote the way they vote is the way the public votes, and it tends to be who wins a presidential election. I see this struggle, which we saw in some of the questions in the audience tonight, about views about abortion, about same-sex marriage, about social justice that divide Catholics and make it hard to say, again, that there is a single Catholic vote, and also makes it so that both parties are really trying to get as much of the Catholic vote that's agree with their positions as possible, so that we have in many ways a divided Catholic vote with very few undecided or truly swing Catholic voters. Faith comes to the vote with you? Does that matter when you decide to vote?
Yes, I think so, because I was raised Catholic, born, raised, baptized. I've been in Catholic school my entire life, so I think inherently it absolutely is a part of every decision I make, not just what name I check on election day.
Absolutely. It's not to the extent that I would need someone to be Catholic for me to vote for them, but there are certain moral issues that I think are deal breakers. And in this election, there are a number of them. There's gay marriage, there's abortion, there's the HHS mandate about contraception. So yes.
I mean, I happen to vote along conservative party lines. That has to do with a lot of different things, but I mean, I also can't stand and say that that is the only party that aligns with my faith, and thus I vote that way. But it's definitely a huge factor in how I vote.
It is not necessarily a determinant factor. I wouldn't say that just because the person is not Catholic doesn't mean I won't vote for him, but it is definitely, it would be a deal breaker if the person goes directly against my Catholic beliefs, yeah. I think it would be oblivious to say that the Democratic Party is not more anti-Catholic than the Republican. The Republican Party is sure not in line with all Catholic teaching, but the Democratic Party is surely more anti-Catholic than the Republican. That's just, I mean, just their party platform says it all. So,
you know, if there are any homes in either political party for Catholics, or really faithful Catholics in American politics, those are they. That is, it's pro-life Democrats, or it's compassionate Republicans. That's about the only home that's left. Unfortunately, you know, what's driving both political parties now are extreme wings that are at odds with both of those. And so the Democrats are being driven by their pro-choice wing, and the Republicans are being driven by, the sensibilities of the Tea Party that are kind of at odds with George W. Bush's compassionate conservatism. So while overall the takeaway is there is no Catholic vote, the more important takeaway is that there are lots of little Catholic votes that we really can, appeal to in political life.